Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 3rd meeting of the Utility Service Board. Our first order of business is petitions and communications. Do we have any comments from the public? All right, hearing none, we will move forward with the, I want to remind you of our mission and why we're all here to begin with. The City of Bloomington Utilities mission is to enhance the quality of life in our community by providing safe, sustainable, and high-quality drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater services in a cost-effective manner, promoting public health, economic vitality, and environmental stewardship. And as a reminder, if any board member has any personal or financial conflict with any issues or individuals on the agenda, then please be sure to recuse yourself during those portions of the meeting. Now, our next item of the agenda is the approval of minutes of our May 20th meeting. Are there any questions, corrections, additions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the claims. First, we have standard invoices in the amount of $1,473,506.49. Are there any questions? We'll start down at the end with Jim.
Yeah, I noticed that there's an item for an architect for the proposed new building and thing. Is that moving along? Will we be able to see architect rendering at some point?
We haven't updated that on Thursday. They're going to come in and show us where they are, and I think we're supposed to be pretty close to the 50% cost on it at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Kirk?
Yeah, I need to recuse on the IU item there on the bottom of page 3, item 941181114. The rest of it I can vote on, I guess, but recuse on that one.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Yes.
Follow up to Jim's question. Just curious about the process. I knew we at the 50% mark, we then review in some way. I don't know if it was defined very well, but
Our current plan would be to see how the meeting goes on Thursday, and then put a presentation together for the planning subcommittee at some point.
right.
Yeah.
I was just wondering what materials they will submit for us to review, if that is plans and a document that
I don't
associated
know.
with those.
I'm not sure what they're going to submit.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
really interested in,
Yeah,
what that
okay.
50% review, those materials
Yeah,
will
sure.
be. Yeah.
I'm just not sure what they're going to bring us.
Yes, Phil Pete in Engineering. So I don't have the exact scope of the contract in front of me, but it's 50% schematic, and then they were going to give cost estimate at this point, and they do have schematics or elevations of the exterior with the renderings, so you can see the maintenance building and the new service center building rendered with the parking lot, and then we have the interior layout of each building and the site civil layout as well.
So, and if they had documentation on why they configured the particular size of different departments the way they did and their assumptions, I would like to see those if those are available. I understood those to be some part of their analysis, but not fully understanding how that was going to be documented, and certainly would like to have an opportunity to review that documentation.
Okay, yeah. We'll
Thank
get that
you.
for you.
Thank you. Other questions on the standard invoices?
Just a learning question. I saw there was an item for, I guess I should cite it. It's for Kleindorfers. It was for locks, and it was for people that hadn't paid and let's see, what does it say? Locks. 48 for locking out delinquent accounts. And I was just wondering, from a functional standpoint, how that was done, if these go on top of the caps that are on the meter pits, or what?
James Hall, Assistant Director of T&D. So inside of the meter pit, there's a valve on each side of the meter, and there's a loop that we can put that lock through that valve, because people will get back in them if we turn them back on.
I understand now.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Other questions? Okay, and we're on the standard invoices. I did have a question on the IWEA, which I'm sorry I've screenshot it and cut off the page number, but look at the eyes. We had the wastewater challenge team, and we had, it looks like 4 participants, and I just wondered what that involved.
My understanding is that it's a competition between utilities, and they go up and they have competitions on taking apart meters, taking apart fire hydrants, and put things back together, is my understanding.
Okay, and I think we did hear about that.
Yeah.
Now that rings more of a bell, rather than just me seeing it on paper. But I know, and our team did well. I think I remember that too. So, okay, thank you. And my other question would be on the Indiana University item. And that's on the bottom of page 3 with the epidemiology sampling. And I feel like I've probably asked this question before, but what's our extent of that contract timing? And is this something that, with COVID not being active, like when we began this, as far as the health pandemic, then how are we using that information? Are we continuing to use that information even though we receive it, I guess?
Yes, we're continuing to, Catherine Zager, Interim Director, Assistant Director, Environmental. Yes, we are continuing to use that information in our pretreatment program. We are also using that in tandem with some other services that go directly to the CDC and other national groups. And as far as the timing of this contract, it ends in October.
Okay, thank you. All right. Yes.
Point to that,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, there's, in addition to COVID, we're testing for other things,
Correct.
different flu strains, and other. I think maybe, well, I can't remember all of them, but there are additional tests in there just besides the COVID one that helps out the local officials.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's reframed as, instead of just COVID testing, it's wastewater epidemiology, because they are scanning for other viruses as well.
Okay, thank you. I just know when we started this that we were in a different situation than we're in now. So, all right, thank you. Are there any other questions about the standard invoices? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have utility bills in the amount of $59,387.43. Are there any questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have wire transfers. First, a correction from the May 20th submission in the amount of $481,657.29. Are there any questions? The amount difference was the taxes withheld?
We had 42,000 and change for the FICA tax instead of the 27.
Yes, okay, thank you. And I guess what was the reason that?
Typo.
Okay, thank you, all right. All right, hearing no other questions, do we have a motion to approve the 520 corrected wire transfers? Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have wire transfers in the amount of $453,056.08. Are there any questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Finally, we have customer refunds in the amount of $7,471.48. Are there any questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, moving on with the agenda. We have a request for approval of Resolution 2024-13 to sell a tract of land pursuant to Indiana Clause IC 36-1-11-5. Are there any questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have requests for approval of service agreement with Grip Inc. Matt Daberton. Oh, yeah, thank you.
program coordinator, and I am seeking the board's approval of a contract with GRIP for continued maintenance of our flow meter sites. We have 11 of them in different points in our sewer system, and so this is for GRIP to come out and do monthly maintenance and calibration on those meters, as well as hosting our data we get from those. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Matt? Yes.
In the claims, it looks like we have a $6,000 or so monthly charge, and then there's like an $8,000 calibration charge, assuming that's annual or more frequent.
Current with the previous contract, the charges have been kind of different times for different portions of the contract.
Okay.
We're moving
They
to
vary.
Yeah, we get charged for the data hosting once a year. We get charged for the repairs and calibrations once a month as they come out. Currently, we're moving that, so it's all monthly invoices now.
And what's the not to exceed? I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
I have it printed out over there. I believe it's 321,000.
144.
Yeah, that's
321,444.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Other questions for Matt? Yes, Kirk.
I'm not sure I know what all these do. Could you give me a quick explanation of where, not all the locations, but what we're tracking here and why we do it?
Yeah, so these meters track a few different things within our sewer system. They show us the level of water in a manhole, the velocity of that, and then the overall flow through that pipe. What that allows us to do, that we use it mostly for, is tracking inflow and infiltration at different points in the sewer system. We have a few of these in historical locations where we see how really broad swaths of the city are doing, and then we have a few we move around tracking different neighborhoods and that sort of thing for inflow and infiltration reduction projects to see how we've done before and after with those flows into the sewer system by rainwater.
So some of them are permanently installed, and then you have some you move around?
Yes, I think we have about 5 that are historical locations they track the main sewer basins in the city of what goes to Blucher Pool, and then east, west, and central for what goes to Dillman. And then we have a few that we move around, for different neighborhood projects that we do.
Yeah. So it says monthly data reports, but are you able to check those flow meters on whenever you want to, like on a minute-by-minute basis or whatever?
Yes, we're able to track those whenever we want to. I believe they upload roughly every day. It might be multiple times a day. And so, we're able to log into that data portal that line item for the annual access is for, and take a look at those whenever we want.
So that sounds pretty valuable, especially when we're trying to track infiltration then, because we could do that during major rain events and
Yes.
figure out where our biggest increase in flows are, so we'd know where we're having the most infiltration then, and might be overcapacity of the system and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
Okay,
Thanks.
Thank you. Yes.
Do you feel like we're maximizing the value of this data? Do we have time as staff to be able to fully utilize the data that's available, or are we continuing to find new ways to use it? And I'd just like to hear your impressions about the value and how we're able to use it at this time and how we might be able to use it in the future.
Yeah, I think we are still maximizing what we're getting out of collecting this data. I had given that presentation in the engineering subcommittee meeting, I think about a month or two ago, regarding our studying inflow and infiltration. We have several meters placed right now in the neighborhoods that our current lining projects are going on in, and so that's going to allow us to hopefully finally see the before and after with those of how much of an impact those efforts have had in those neighborhoods in reducing inflow and infiltration. And we are continuing to use them in different locations for future projects as well, one of which is the Highland Village neighborhood on the west side of town. We recently placed a flow meter there last year in preparation to do some kind of inflow and infiltration reduction in that neighborhood.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the service agreement with Grip Inc.? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Do we have any old business from the board? Old business from staff? No. New business from the board? New business from staff? There were no subcommittees this week, so there are no subcommittee reports. Staff reports.
We have some staff report here. So we wanted to congratulate some of our staff. Alan Christie and Chris Eberly were promoted to specialized crew leader in T&D. We'd like to congratulate Zach Palo. They were promoted to utility specialist 2. We also had several people complete certifications and licensure. So Kevin Housel, Andrew Bowden, Chris Eberly, and Melissa Rozowski completed the Indiana State Dig Law training. The following individuals completed and are certified for the IWEA Wastewater Collection System Operator Class 2. James Hall, Bradley Elkins II, Ken Larman, and Danny Wall. Austin Bennington earned his DSL. And then finally, Dan Hudson, Mark Menefee, and Kevin White of Engineering all completed a pump and equipment water and wastewater engineering course.
Great. Thank you. Sounds like a lot of people have a lot of great things that they're doing in addition to their jobs here every day. So thank you to all those people for putting in the time for those trainings, and congratulations on all the certifications. Okay, thank you. Any questions for Kat about any of that? Okay. Moving on, petitions and communications from the public. Any questions from the board?
I just had a question about the flyer that was left at our desk. Does anyone have any? Oh.
Yeah, that was passed on from the
Economic Sustainable Development.
Economic and Sustainable Development Department. They asked me to pass that along to all of our board members.
Would it be possible to have this emailed in a PDF format to the board members? Because I'd be happy to help. While this isn't a CBU initiative, it's a city initiative, and we are always happy to help promote those types of things. So it sounds very interesting. Thank you.
Okay. Any other petitions or communications? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn? Okay. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.